Now it is time for me to scoot on down to the other end of the couch. So, Russ, you can take my place on the hot cushion. Today, I'm going to discuss your fantasy football footprint and follow it up with some questions. Please keep in mind that I'm going to be very direct, to the point, and brutally honest. And the questions are not necessarily going to be easy. Is that okay?
I want to say yes, but I'm terrified. You did leave this nice warm ass print in this cushion, so I'm feeling it. Let's do it.
Before we get into the meat of the potato, I'm going to ask just a few little questions about you. Question number one, what is the perfect number of assets to be involved in a dynasty trade?
Per team or total?
Total.
I say usually 4. Like a good 2 for 2 is always a nice basic template for a good trade.
I like that.
Do you feel the same way about 3 for 1s then?
No.
Okay.
Interesting. Good question, Jeremy. All right. So whereabouts you live in this world?
New Jersey.
All right. New Jersey. Okay. So number 3 is obviously you've been playing fantasy football a long time. What is a trade that you made that you instantly regretted?
Instantly. Okay. First off season of Trade Addicts 3, which is a super flex league. I was weak at quarterback, so I was trying to get another quarterback to go around. And I'm like, all right, I have a lot of wide receivers because that's how I built my team. And my problem is, especially when I am spamming offers to an entire league, I click buttons and I click them fast. And I ended up trading Mike Evans straight up for Marcus Mariota, who soon lost his job. My intention was to ask for Mariota, and I can't remember who the wide receiver was at the time. Like, I meant to click more buttons on their side, but I did not, and I didn't realize until the trade went through. So that was a very easy one to pick that I guessed. And it's funny, like, the guy was even like, let's reverse it. You did not mean to do it. I accepted it almost as a joke. I'm like, no, I will take my licks. I will learn my lesson. You enjoy Mike Evans, who I now have back on my team. That's,
You don't need coddling for your addiction. You need this real world consequence in order to evaluate yourself.
I don't know. I think you just heard it, Jeremy. He needed to trade back for him later. That was the real true addiction.
Well, you need is a strong word. It just if the substance doesn't matter, it's the action.
All right. I did one in a league that I was like, okay, so Jeremy and I have talked about this league before, but I traded away Devontae Adams in a league that I was picking up an orphan, and I knew he was a big strong piece. Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna trade this guy away, and I got back some players, and it's still like it's like was it a terrible trade? I don't know, but the one that hurt was like as soon as I traded him, the guy was like, Devontae Adams on the block, and I'm like, oh, I so undersold. Like,
oh man, I do. Oh man, I do that all the freaking time. Like, especially if I am. It does, because the thing is, he probably wanted to get rid of whatever he was giving you, and the thing is, it's just like, I just wanted to get these guys off my team. I didn't necessarily care who exactly I got for him, or I want to get a guy on a different team, but I don't have the pieces to do it. Let me go start working the circuit to try and get what I need. I absolutely do that. I forgot who it was at one point where I traded for a quarterback that I didn't. Oh, I got Kyler Murray. And I don't like owning high-end quarterbacks just because I feel like you can get decent value, decent production from someone else at much less cost. But it was in the playoffs. I was not in them. And Kyler was doing bad because of his shoulder injury. I mean, this was a couple of weeks ago. And someone offered me Kyler Murray for Jared Goff and Miles Sanders. And I'm just like this isn't the trade I would normally do, but that value is really freaking good, right? Like, I hit accept, and then right away, okay, who wants Kyler? Like, it's because, especially when I was out of the playoffs, so technically I was into the non-point scoring season already. You don't need to set a lineup. You don't need to care about the specific players on your team. It's all about the value that comes in and the value that goes out. So I knew I was getting more value in than I was sending out. So I'm just like, okay, let's just do this. And then, I haven't moved Kyler yet because I've been lazy and haven't tried. But, it's I completely get, and I also get the burn of, like, especially if you worked hard for that deal. Like, if you were just like, oh my God, 6 grueling hours, we finally got this done, and then he's just like, Adam's on the block. Oh, come on.
Yeah, and and I know the guy now, and he did trade Adams. I don't think I would not have taken the other side that he got
Yep.
for what I traded Adams for. So it's like, value is
You
so
win.
relative. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken that, but he liked the value he got from the other player. It's interesting how we can all move players like that and feel like we win or lose. But ultimately, I mean, I think that trade's done okay for me. In fact, 2 of the players in that were David Montgomery and Kyler Murray, who they ended up being because one was a draft pick. But yeah, so question number 4 in my introduction questions. I'm a beer guy. I brew my own beer here in Texas. What is your favorite name of a commercial beer?
There is a brewery in New Jersey called Mad Genius, I believe.
Yep.
Purple Monkey Dishwasher is a Simpsons reference, and B,
Right.
a chocolate peanut butter stout. I didn't even know what kind of drink it was. I looked at the menu, saw Purple Monkey Dishwasher, and said, I'll have that. It just so happens it was one of my favorite kinds of beers, because I'm a darker the better kind of guy. Like, so stouts are my deal. And I mean, if you listen to me anywhere ever and the word whiskey comes up, I talk about Screwball's peanut butter whiskey because it's just delicious. And so I love peanut butter. So the fact that Purple Monkey Dishwasher was a peanut butter stout just made me the happiest boy in the world.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the funny names like that. That always cracks me up. Like one of my favorite ones is Polygamy Porter from Wasatch Brewery in Utah. So, it's just funny. They just, make fun of themselves there in Utah. But it's just a funny name, Polygamy Porter. What is your favorite part about fantasy bobsledding?
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, fantasy bobsledding. So bobsledding is this, it's an Olympic event, usually only done during winter. Although the Jamaicans, they did it during the summer so they could train, but usually it's only during the winter. So I like that in fantasy bobsledding, you can pick your last in sled and you can pick your first in sled. I appreciate the difference in the skill sets that it takes, in that combination training.
I don't know. I have to see the training tape of them sitting in the bathtub and going back, leading back and forth, just to see their reflex time.
Cool Runnings is so great. My favorite part of fantasy bobsledding is probably points per startup chant when they're
feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get on up, it's bobsled time, Cool Runnings!
All right, now it is time for my hard-hitting analysis and drama-laden questions. Are you ready?
Born it.
All right, question number 1. Dynasty Game Night is a fun show. I tune in from time to time, and I'm amazed at the complex and thoughtful questions and answers. The name game is one of the common and repeated segments and certainly results in a lot of work designing the wordplay. In similar fashion, I too have to design questions with various levels of complexity and wit. Combining names sounds like a fun way to do this. A la the name game, what is the location where Russia and the USA are closest, and what are you?
I mean, the answer is Alaska, isn't it? But I don't.
It could be. I don't know. I mean, I'm not on the hot cushion.
I got nothing.
All right, that is the Bering Strait. And what are you?
Ridiculously good looking.
Well, that's true, but you are an addict. So this is the Bering Strait Addict. Bering Strait.
All right. I'm going to give you a little poetic license on that one. That's why I didn't get it. That was it. That was totally the reason.
All right, question number 2. Bearing Straight Addicts is a fun show as well. I have listened to this one for years, and it helped shape some of my opinions on player values. Jeremy left his player value in his other jacket, so he is without player value tonight. Jeremy ushered in a trade to receive Jerbrand receiver Cortland Sutton in exchange for Michael Pittman and James Robinson. Which actor voices Homer Simpson's brother Herb in The Simpsons?
Brooks, the guy who does Marlin in Finding Nemo, right?
I'm not sure.
How's his name? Jim Brooks?
Danny DeVito. DeVito. All right. We're 0 for 2 right now, but don't worry. You still have a chance to be second best ever in this game. So, question number 3. Jesse Lauritsen Livermore was an American trader famous for both colossal gains and losses in the market. He successfully shorted the 1929 market crash, building his fortune to $100 million. However, by 1934, he had lost his money. Russ, we both care about my fantasy football team. On that note, how much more money did Kyle win than Jeremy in the Safe League's Dynasty 289-Premium open parentheses SF/TE close parentheses?
$0.
Ooh, that would be incorrect. It would be 700.
That would have been a good guess.
700 more dollars. All right. We're running out of questions for you to be able to answer correctly, but I think this last one you'll get. Question number 4. Oh, man. This thing's blinking. I don't think it's recording. Oh, man, this brand new. You'd think it'd be doing better than this, and I'm just not really even sure. As I got that little. Man, is that? Okay, I see the little light over here. Should I just upload this?
I have no idea what the hell's going on. Is this like messing with me for uploading the wrong file this week for my show?
Well, I still want to know. Should you just upload it? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure. Clearly, that's what I did. Yeah.
You're damn straight you should. You're damn straight. You get a whole point.
You are correct, sir. That's right.
You always upload it. It doesn't matter. All right. That takes you, I think, to 3rd or maybe 4th on the all-time leaderboard for getting a whole point right.
I'll take it.
you very
Russ, you
much
look
should.
defeated.
I feel it. I'm really annoyed that I couldn't think of Homer's brother's voice. It's funny. Like, I can quote Simpsons episodes that I haven't seen in decades, but for some reason I just couldn't place the name, the voice.
I didn't have that either.
Doing this little type of trivia thing where you're trying to listen to something and you don't know where the question's going, and then the question could be something that is totally within your wheelhouse, and all of a sudden you're so thrown off by the banter before you can't even answer it. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah, you're probably
The worst
better
part
off
is
if just the sound cuts out and you don't hear anything. You don't even hear the question, and you just provide some sort of random answer. You're probably more likely to get it.
I mean, that's pretty much what happened with the last one, right? But like the crap is, like, I threw out Purple Monkey Dishwasher, which is one of the most random things in Simpsons that I'm sure you'll be lucky if one person knows what episode that is from. But man, and then you asked me a Simpsons question and I just blanked on it.
Well, I try to gear these towards each of our individual guests. I know you're a Simpsons fan, so it was like when you did that Purple Monkey Dishwasher, I'm like, oh, he's gonna totally get the. Like I'm actually negativing. I'm like, oh man, I gave him an easy one. He's gonna kill it.
Oh no, like again, I could tell you every plot point of the 2 episodes that I remember him being in, where he makes, they make the Homer the car. And where he makes the baby thought translator when he tries to earn his fortune back after the Homer ruined it. But, oh man, like remembering his voice, I completely blanked on it.
You're more of an in-universe enthusiast. Danny DeVito is out here in the real world, so
There you go.
who knows?
To me, there are no real people. Like Homer is the guy. Like, there's no Dan Castellaneta. That doesn't make any sense to me. It is that Homer's a real person, right?
Well, I like Danny DeVito, but I like his brother.
At least for one episode.
Quite a bit too.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Governor. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your candid and truthful answers and my insightful and hard-hitting analysis.